Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday.
Hi, Walnut. It is me, Laz, here for another episode of Walnut Wednesday. I hope you are having a wonderful week. This week, I have been celebrating lots. I have lots of client celebrations as well. So if you haven't heard of my client who I PA for, Elliot Rose, there are 4 books out now, and in progress is the 5th one coming out, which stars one of a character that popped out from book 3 that everyone's like, oh, so excited. So if you haven't checked out any of the series, it's a paranormal romance. Just a quick little plug, but lots of celebrations. Book 4 is finally out in the world, so if you haven't checked them out, please do so. I'll link in the show notes for us. But this week, Walnut, I wanted to share a very short story time about knowing your worth, I think, is probably the best way to describe it, where I recently went on a sister trip abroad to Australia, and my sister and I spent a day doing shopping. I'll get straight to the story time. And so we're in the shop. I walked past the shop, and I have previously bought lots of ball gowns and lovely clothes from there before, and went in, and I was like thinking, oh, I've got a couple of events coming up. I've got a wedding and things, so let's just see if I can find a good dress, because at my size now, I don't know, I just felt like if I could find something now, it will give my nervous system a rest for when it comes to the wedding time, and then at least I have something in my wardrobe to know that will be a good backup plan that fits, etc., etc. Blah, blah, blah. So I will go into this dress shop that I know I usually always find a beautiful dress, and went in, and I found this beautiful, like, maroony satin dress that works the boobies, flows on the flabota, so it's not tight fitting. It was just like really lovely. And as I went into the changing room, I noticed that a button on the back buttons that do up at the your collar, but on the back side, the thread was kind of like loose. And so before I tried it on, I said to the lady, excuse me, just letting you know, this thread is loose and the button's kind of like hanging down. And she was like, oh, don't worry about it, I'll check out the back if you like it, if we've got another one in that size. Lo and behold, I try it on. It fits like a glove. It's lovely. It's great, despite the dangly button. This lady even shows me how to tie it different ways if I didn't want to show too much cleavage, if I want to wear it for a different event. So very versatile number in the dress department that isn't black, essentially. And anyway, so I said, look, I like it. Do you have a size 16 in this dress with a button that is on the thread, that it's not dangling around like a little banana? And she had one. So we're going to purchase, and this lady who's helped me out a lot, she's very peacocky and la 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 and loud. She's folding up the dress, and then she's like, and the button of the thread came off on this dress as well. Immediately, Sateful was like, oh, no, I don't like it. And she was like, oh, do you girls know how to sew? And I said, no. Well, like, I could obviously sew a button with a needle and thread, but I said, no. She said, it's only a button. And in that void, it's only a button. Me thinking in my head, I'm not going to pay nearly $200 for a dress that I have to sew a button onto. I was kind of like waiting for her to be like, oh, I'll take 20% off, 50% off, something like that, where, I don't know. Tell me if you agree. But she ended up, oh, it's only a button, made me feel all weird. And I looked at my sister and I was like, no. She's like, are you sure? You know how to sew? It's only a button. And she's, oh, come back. We'll come back in 10 minutes and I'll sew it on for you. And even there, I was like, I don't want to pay $200 for a dress that just got the button re-sewed on in the shop. There was already one dangling from the one I tried on, so maybe the dress isn't good quality. This is not my fault. Why am I being made to feel like I have done something wrong? And I looked at my sister, I was like, and then she goes, oh, or I could just refund it for you. And I said, yes. I immediately said, cool. I said, yes, I think I'll do that. I'd already put the payment through and everything. I said, yeah, I'll take a refund, please. And she was like, oh, okay. Do you have an account with us? And I said, maybe. I've shopped here before, but I'm not from here. So but I was just searching, couldn't find it. It was taking her a while. She's obviously not fast at typing in the emails and the little shop computers and things. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna have to sign you up. I'm gonna have to sign you up to set up a refund. Me thinking, not my problem. Okay, sign me up so I can get a refund. And she was like, it's only a button. Like, just like comment, it's only a button. It's only a thing that you have to pay full price for, that you have to do additional work for. It's just like silly Billy business to me. Past Laz, if we just like reflect back and look back, would have bought the dress because she felt bad. She didn't want to be a hassle. She didn't want to be annoying to the lady in the shop who had to set up an account for me to give me my money back for a service that, or a garment or a product that was broken. I would have just bought it to be less hassle to people. But immediately I was like, yes, I'll take the refund. And immediately when she's like, oh, I set up an account for you, got all flustered, was like, okay, great, go ahead. Water for duck's back. I don't feel bad. This is not my fault. This is not actually really even my problem. Aside from spending money, it would have been my problem had I gone ahead with it. And she actually ended up getting another girl who was maybe a bit faster on the computer to set it up while she could go and peacock around and help other people tie their dresses and do all the things. So it was just a really interesting experience, Walnut, to contrast that to how I would have previously behaved as a recovering people pleaser. That I was like, straight away, like immediately getting like red flag vibes, like, you want me to sew on a button? For something that I bought brand new. I don't know how I feel about that. So Walnut, this little short and sweet episode is just to remind you of your worth, to remind you of your standards, to remind you of when you get your red flag feelings, and think about, in an instant, think about future you and if it will hassle you or bother you or make you feel like shit or make you feel like a doormat walked all over. Small experiences like that, right, Walnut, where we have them and regret them later because we were trying to do somebody else a favor. That's probably something she won't remember ever again, but something that has really stuck with me, and had I even bought the dress would have made me feel like shit later on, because I would have felt like, oh, I should have been stronger, I should have used my voice more, all of those things that we talk about on the podcast together, right? So just a reminder to remember your worth and listen to your instinct and your feelings and trust yourself, and know that you're allowed to return the thing if you don't like it anymore. The same goes for, energy, or when we're moving on from people that we no longer want in our life, or things like that. You have total permission and are allowed to stand up for yourself and what you deem appropriate for yourself to carry and to keep and to hold on to. So I will leave it at that with my little story time and experience. I would love to know if you've had sort of something similar, if something has like gone up your butt and you're like, I don't like that, what you did about it, or if you've had a sort of like empowered little feeling where you got the refund even though someone else had to set up an account for you because you didn't want to sew the button. I'd love to know what your sewing the button moment was. But just a reminder, Walnut, you're so beautiful and so worthy of everything, and you're worth sticking up for yourself for, right? So on that, short and sweet, but I hope this sparks a little bit of motivation up your butt to just know your worth, to look in the mirror and be like, I love you, and know and really believe it as well, because you're worth it. So permission slip, tick. You're worth it, tick. I love you, tick. Have a happy Walnut Wednesday, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.